The title of this particular video and live stream is Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. The only thing about that title is that most people who the world calls Black are not proud of their heritage. They want to be something else. They want to be something that they'll never be. But they also deny the fact that they should not want to be anything but who they are, because history hasn't been kind to them in the Americas and in the 21st century. Because Black people don't know who they are, they feel disillusioned, and they've been written a narrative that they're supposed to follow. And I want you to hear a different narrative from a European who tells you about some of your true history.
The original hunter-gatherers to come to Britain and Ireland were Black. So say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. Called Cheddar Man, a hunter-gatherer and one of the first people to populate the islands of Britain and Ireland, turns out to have dark skin, black hair and blue eyes. Now this shouldn't come as a surprise to most Irish people. If you look around Ireland today, it's evident that the Irish are a mix of different peoples. And the latest genetic evidence is just confirming this. The first people to arrive in Britain and Ireland were hunter-gatherers like Cheddar Man, who came from the continent. They lived by gathering nuts and berries and by hunting animals. Cheddar Man was lactose intolerant because farming hadn't arrived in Britain or Ireland and wouldn't arrive for another few thousand years.
This is just more proof and more evidence that we are the originals on all land masses, Europe and America.
Now, given this information from a European, this will lend more credence than all of the Black scholars and learned people that have come before with numerous, and I'm talking about truckloads of information, research, artifacts, and so forth. But have you ever asked yourself one thing? The very thing that we try to run from, our Africanism, our brothers and sisters of the human race are running too. See, we are so programmed to operate in a scarcity mindset that we will run away from Africa because they show us and give us a narrative that they want us to believe, because they never want you to know your true heritage, because if you do, that's going to be a problem. Because then you can't control people who know who they are, who they were, who their ancestors were. And how come every other culture rates their culture as like one of the number one things that they made sure that they teach their children and that they instill in their communities, except for the African community? We don't even, where's our, to tell you the truth, the African Americans, we don't have any embassy or anybody to run to when we get mistreated, okay? And we can't run to our brothers and sisters because most often they're the ones that's partaking in the mistreatment of us. But I said all of that to say one thing. That's a fact, and we know it. Another fact is we are not participating the way that we should in our communities, in the political system, and especially economically. We are not doing some of the things that other communities are doing, so therefore we are in last place economically like we've been for the last 400 or 500 years, and they're trying to send us back into bondage. And Project 2025 is one of the tools that they will use to do that. And I want to know how many Black men have actually read this, which is 900 some pages, I know you're not going to do that. And nobody's asking you. But you won't even turn a page of that to find out what's going on for your children and your family and your communities. And it directly affects you and yours. But a lot of people have been holding up the Black community for a lot of years, centuries, and so forth. We have a lot of selfish people out there, and we have a lot of people who have been conditioned to hate themselves. So how in the world are they going to love you? Now, I keep saying that over and over because that's what they do in the media. They've been playing old Tarzan movies and old Western movies and telling you through news and streams and radio and all types of media who you are not. They've been telling you who they don't want you to be. And you have taken that hook, line, and sinker. So if you won't read the 900 pages, and if you learn by repetition, even though you don't want to hear what I got to say, I'm going to tell it to you again, because it's important that you get out and vote. But not only that, that you partake in the political process, at least you'll go down swinging. But if this Project 2025 takes place, you'll wish that you had participated, and you'll wish that you've done a lot of things that would have helped you and your community a lot more, because they are talking about ending no-fault divorce, complete ban on abortions without exceptions, ban contraceptives, additional tax breaks for the rich corporations and the 1%. So that means they will continue to get filthy, filthy rich while you get filthy, filthy poor. You will be in a scarcity mindset for the rest of your life. This is one of our problems. We don't see abundance. We do not see things that are supposed to be for us. You're always walking around with your hat in your hand, thinking that you have to be quiet about the way that you do things, and you don't deserve the very best that this life has to offer. And that's foolishness. They're planning on raising the taxes for the working class, eliminating union and worker protections, raise the retirement age, cut Social Security, cut Medicare, end the Affordable Care Act, raise prescription drug prices, eliminate the Department of Education. If you don't do it for the education of your children, then do it because you're going to lose your babysitters. You got to meet some people where you're at. We do things sometimes for the fact that it pleases us right now, but we don't think of acquiring generational wealth or generational community wealth or building communities, periods. Today I wear Powernomics shirt that Dr. Claude Anderson represents this corporation or company, and he talks about finance, financial matters, and economics. Now, I'm telling you this is because if you do wake up, you may want to pay attention and buy some of his books. Dr. Claude Anderson, and he can be found on YouTube and all over. But this elimination of the Department of Education, a lot of Black children do not want to go to schools because they tell their parents drop them off, but they never come check on them. So they never understand what the Black child goes through when they're in school, how they're made to feel, what they're told, how they are treated. The parents automatically drops them off at the front door and pick them up after the evening when they get out of school, so that the parent is free to go to work or do whatever they want to during that time. While other communities, they are there for activities, Father Day. They come and check on their children. They find out how they're being treated, what they're being taught, and they hold people's hands to the fire because they understand that school is supposed to be teaching them certain things to help them become better citizens and community-minded people. They will use public taxpayer money for private religious schools, teach Christian religious beliefs in public schools, and end free and discounted school lunch programs. I don't have anything against Christians or religion or anything else, but I have not, until 2024, I have yet to see a poor pastor or a poor religion or a religion that claims that if you don't believe what they believe, then you're a sinner. And from what I was understanding, just by reading the front of the book, the Old Testament, you understand that the premise is that sin came in through one man, and infected all men and women. And so therefore all of us have sinned. So that means it's not supposed to be any one person, human being, that's supposed to think that they're better than any other human being. But it's not set up that way. What they tell you in the law and in religion, they do not live their life by. But we commit heart, soul, and spirit to whatever they tell us. And we're doing it today. Okay? We believe whatever that they put in front of us. We eat whatever they put in front of us. We think the way they tell us to think. You need to worry about getting in control of your mind. You'd be surprised what you might find, my brothers and sisters, when you gain control of your mind. They will end civil rights and DEI protections in government, ban African American and gender studies in all levels of education, ban books and curriculum about slavery. And then they talk about environmental controls and so forth. But let's get back to why they don't want to teach African American gender studies and have the curriculum teach about slavery. Why would they want to teach you the truth? Why would they want to empower you? They want to keep you in a slave type reality, mental reality, scarcity reality. See, they think when they first came and set their foot on this new world, as they call it, they believed that everything that they saw was basically theirs. And so the minute that they set their foot in this country, they believe they're citizens, and they believe in you taking care of me, and they're given and treated as citizens, while the original people were made to feel like they didn't belong in society. You belonged in a laborer's society, which was less than human conditions, treatment, food, and every other manner of being. But if we teach you who you truly are, then we'll have to forfeit some of the lives that we live, or the life that we live, and we will have to forfeit the money that we've accrued, the power, and all these other things, because if we teach you who you truly are, then we may not be able to control you. And you understand that even today, your intellectual, let's just say your intellectual capabilities produce money for them, and this is the reason why you're still here. You're not picking cotton anymore, but you're producing geniuses, music, and all other manner of streams of income that they can profit by you being here. Now, I understand that most people don't have a tolerance for a long video, but it is very important that you understand, and hopefully you've heard what I've told you. You don't have to read 900 and some pages of Project 2025 to understand that if this is implemented, you'll wish you had participated. Thank you.